How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at some Pokemon leaks and rumors, so let's get started right away. First things first is this post that showed up over on 4chan. Now, if you guys may notice, my voice is a bit different. It's because I have a massive canker sore in the back of my throat, so I will be a bit more quiet and slow. Either way, so here's what it says. All the footage of Poodle in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And this apparently is supposed to be a new leaked Pokemon for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and here is what the image looks like of it. I'm going to move my camera down a bit so you guys can see it a bit more clearly. So as you guys can see, it shows off what looks to be a Poodle Pokemon of some sort. It looks alright, but I'm going to be honest, I'm going to say it right now, I think this one is fake. For anybody curious as to why I think it's fake, it's because, number one, the colors. Something that feels off about like how it matches with the rest of the world. If you compare the actual graphics of the other Pokemon, like, you know, Palmy or, you know, even Smoliv and even Lechonk, the colors on those just look a little bit more consistent than the little Poodle does here. And even Soul Silver says from 4chan, and if you do not know who Soul Silver is, he's a leak analyst. He says from 4chan, I think the same person that made Sprigatito's Final Evo, it looks even more fake to me, but you guys may love it, so I thought I'd share it anyways. 99.99% fake, sent to him by Kai Alexander, who also sent this my way as well, by the way, so shout out to him. He sent it to me in DMs, the other day in the morning. So, I'm going to be honest, same way he said it, I think this thing is most likely fake, to be fair. I mean, they try their best, I guess, but again, it feels a bit off. A lot of stuff about it feels off. If it ends up being real, then, you know, hey, it is what it is, and I was a crazy person. But, so yeah, these guys are most likely fake. But let's move on to the next thing. This is again coming to us from our boy Soul Silver Art, who says the following. So, there's more information about what Fue Coco might be based on. This is from Lindsay Sensei, so shout out to, by the way, Lindsay. Still don't know why I'm not following him on Twitter, but now I do. Lindsay has been sending me a million different messages over on Discord about some things he's discovered about these games. There's loads of information. It's just I haven't been able to go through all of it. There's a ton of connections between Portuguese culture and Portuguese history and mythology and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's like loads of it. And one of them here has to do with Fue Coco. So here's what he says. You may have found its fire-type inspiration. All the pro-certain fans jump for joy. This is the only dragon picture I've seen from this event, so it might not be the best connection. This other Japanese card dragon from Lindsay Sensei looks familiar, though. If you look at this, this is from Verni Mora Tortos, who says, it would make sense since Core Fox, Focus, are very typical in Catalonia and Valencians festivals. It's basically a dragon that spits fireworks. And then you see right here, Corefoc, it's basically literally in English translates to fire runs, are among the most striking features present in Valencian and Catalan festivals. In the Corefoc, a group of individuals will dress as devils and light up fireworks fixed on devils' pitchforks or strung above the root, dancing to the sound of a rhythmic drum group. They set up their fireworks among crowds of spectators, which is interesting. But here is these cards. If you guys haven't seen these cards yet, these are quite interesting because they look very similar to Fue Coco's designs. And they talk about these being like Japanese Tensho Karuda aces. And these are basically made out of Portuguese patterns in particular. So they're connected directly to the Iberian Peninsula and Portugal. If you see right here, the Karuda cards basically are Japanese playing cards. Playing cards were introduced to Japan by the Portuguese traders during the mid-16th century. These early decks were used for trick attacking games. The earliest indigenous Karuda was invented in the town of Mike in Chugoku province around the end of the 16th century. So again, interestingly, it is literally a descendants of like the Portuguese like cards that were brought over there. It's like, it's so strange to think that there's these incredible connections there which connect back. And he says, don't think I've ever properly shared this very possible fire ghost croc dragon inspiration for Coco, Drac de na Coca. When we all first saw a new crocodile starter was coming, we would have never thought about Iberia. I swore it was Australia, but now it's clear there's plenty of crocodile lore or croc lore in Iberia. So you have this thing, the legend of Drac de na Coca, Noca, I think, the dragon that was a crocodile, interestingly. So we continue on down here to more information. It was hidden in the shadows of the night. A fearsome dragon terrified his superstitious 17th century palm. So basically, it was kind of the thingy that they considered was taking away little children and stuff back then, which again fits back to the Coca, the boogeyman. So it all fits together, and all of this just combines perfectly into the idea of the ghost typing for this Pokemon. So if you guys want to read further into that, you can do that. And even Lindsay says also this. Yes, we had crocodiles, and extinct is a fancy way of saying dead. And this once again connects with the ghost type. Here's what it said. A new species of fossil crocodile from Portugal changes what scientists thought about the origin of crocodiles. The new species, Portugalsucus anzehae, about 95 million years old, found in Tentugal, shows the crocodiles a 20 million years older than previously thought, according to a study by paleontologists from the Nova School of Science and Technology in the University of Coimbra. So there you go. There is definitely connections to Italy, not Italy, Portugal. Definitely connections to Portugal and extinct crocodiles. And again, it's a lot of interesting stuff. And even Soul Silver says yes, he's seen all about the extinct crocs, and it is interesting. There's definitely a lot of connections again to Portuguese stuff and the connection to the ghost typing for this Pokemon. So keep that in mind. We move on to the next thing, which is also from Soul Silver again. This time he says it's specifically to do with this post from Blaze Incineroar, where if you look at the top of like the kind of like headband of one of the characters in the latest trailer for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they had this icon up there. Now we've been speculating that it could be a dolphin of sorts, but people have also said it could be something else. But here's what Soul Silver says. I see this more as a clothing symbol, maybe a Fue Coco evil or bird head design, but this brings up another valid point. Since Game Freak have passed up so many opportunities to do this before, and the Iberian-based region is a great place to introduce our first true dolphin Pokemon, which if you look at right here, it is true. One of Spain's greatest natural treasures are the pods of whales and dolphins that inhabit the pass through the Iberian coasts, which is quite interesting. So yeah, one of the greatest experiences is travel the Costa del Sol, is the Catacene watching, especially dolphin watching in the open sea. So there is definitely an opportunity here to make a dolphin Pokemon. It just makes a lot of sense. Even Zepto here says there are 27 different species of whales and dolphins belonging to 5 different families that are present here. So it would only make sense in my opinion to finally include one. Delta here, however, says Ku revealed the code name, but all the works that Masuda has directed have to do with whales. In other words, Game Freak's without Masuda, the boss with the big bump on his eyes, and free to make all the dolphins they want. By the way, I'm going through this icon because it looks like a dragon mating, which that is a bit extreme. I don't know if that's really the case, but that is what it is. Next up is this also from Soul Silver, who says, wanted to reiterate that Kus Favorite Scarlet and Violet starter is Quaxly's line. If you do not know who Ku is, I'm going to quickly give you a TLDR. He's a leaker that's been putting out these little riddles, and he's back again with a bunch of riddles. He's a real leaker, by the way. Real information from him, 100% confirmed. So it's going to be his first pick, which is a bit concerning for us Fue Coco fans. This is just an opinion, but I usually agree with him. If Quaxly ends up being this good, I may choose it over the other two, which is what my fear is as well. That this is going to be the first time I have to choose a water starter because the other ones that look dog. So basically, people are asking him, hey Ku, if you answered this before, but it seems irrelevant, which starter final design has your favorite design? He says water, but I'll go for grass first, etc. And then somebody else was asking here, or saying here, is referred to Ku. I like the concept, but it just wasn't for me. I went with Hisu and Typhlosion. It says because Ku didn't like it. So we all know it's a personal opinion, but probably means it's really is the chunky croc. So it's slow, etc., which is something people don't usually like as much, such as a slender and quick starter. And he says, even though I don't like it, I still choose it in PLA. Does that matter? So interesting. I don't know. It's a strange situation. So the bottom line is the starter choice is still wide open for most of us. Just last week, we had written Sprigatito totally off, but that fake leak made me think twice. Also, I haven't had the highest expectations for Quaxly, but now with his opinion, I'll totally flip-flop if it becomes really epic. So a lot of the starter designs, we don't really know yet what they're going to really truly be like, but we're going to have to wait and see, There's a lot of possibilities here. There's a lot of good possibilities. We move on to the next topic, and this is one that's actually pretty big. So this is about the fact that in the Pokemon anime right now, in Journeys, you have the Masters 8, right? It's kind of like the big tournament at the end, for those who do not watch it. It's basically a tournament now where Ash is in it, but there's a bunch of, champions in it. You got Cynthia, you got Steven, you got Leon and whatnot in there. I think Elaine just lost the battle or something. But basically, there's a lot of these characters that are using megas, and Aura Trainer here specifically says, if you think about it and look at how many champions of the Masters 8 are using Mega Evolutions, Ash with Lucario, Elaine with Charizard, Cynthia with Garchomp, Diantha with Gardevoir, and Steven with Metagross, this must be a hint. What do you think? I will say, I do think it is a hint, yes. I think it is a hint, because we've already been told again by Riddler Ku, and I'm going to just call him Leaker Ku from now on. So Leaker Ku has already told us before that there is going to be some version of megas, not megas exactly, but some kind of concept of megas will be back and will be returning in these games, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It will be returning. And something you guys have to understand is the anime, the card game, and the mainline games, they all are connected in some way, okay? The one can't exist without the other. Now, of course, just because Ash does something in the anime, that doesn't mean that instantly that's going to be in the games. However, if there's an overarching thing happening, then usually they do leave little hints. They leave little hints in there, you know, to hint towards the next thing. So it's not too surprising or too crazy to imagine that they would be leaving little hinties towards the next thing within these games. Like, it wouldn't be that surprising. So I think that them, like, doing all these crazy, you know, amounts of megas on all the characters, I think is a direct hint. Like, them mega evolving their Pokemon, I think it's a direct hint towards, you know, what we're talking about, which is there's going to be some new version of megas returning in these games. How that's going to operate, I don't really know. But I know that something like that is going to be happening, and I think that's what's happening right here. And even Lubio says, well, Ku has already implied that megas would be kind of returning in some form or shape. This is another fan favorite gimmick, so it may have just also been fan service. But it's of course always possible that it was a hint, which I think there's always a possibility, and I think in this case it might be. But that doesn't mean we're getting megas back. We might get some new version of megas, something different from megas. Maybe mega, like instead of mega evolution, mega reversion, or, you know, the one might even be called megas, or mega, you know, mega forms, or mega something, you know. Basically, there'll be some version of it returning in some way or shape. That's what we've been told by the leaker. So, move on to the next thing, which is from Dusty Gogo. Shout out to Dusty, by the way. You guys can go check out his channel. He makes great videos about rumors, leaks, stuff like that. Ancient and future regional forms rumor from 2021. And basically he covered here a old rumor that I already covered way back. I mean, you guys see that little like arrow up there and that like thingy? That's actually from my thumbnail from one of my videos, interestingly enough, that somebody here reused and posted for this. But basically they say, okay, Gen 9 is not what you think. And they say the following: the Atlas in Sword and Shield is the Gen 9 clue, but it's not Australia. I'm gonna have to take a little break, guys. Give me a second. Sorry, my throat is killing me. Gen 9 clue, but it's not Australia. It's going to be loosely based on Atlantis. 2 clues present in Legends Arceus: a message in a bottle on the beach and a trident symbol in the professor's home. Legendary Pokemon are the Hands of Time duo. One represents clockwise and the other one anti-clockwise. They can time travel between past, present, and future, which kind of is, I guess, accurate. Depending on the version, you will either go back in time or forward to stop the legendary sinking the island when awakened. You'll have ancient and future forms of Pokemon. The Kanto starters get regional evolutions, and the island is a water paradise. So, that's what he's saying, which is interesting, because the next point here that's being made by some people, which I think is quite interesting, which is from David here, shout out to David, by the way, who says, wait a minute, and he looks up, Atlantis also spent Atalantis, or Atlantica, a legendary island in the Atlantic Ocean, lying west of the Strait of Gibraltar. And if you look at what it says right here, the Strait of Gibraltar, which is basically is the channel connecting the Mediterranean Sea with the Atlantic Ocean and lying between the southernmost Spain and northern westernmost African, you know, points, I guess. It is 36 miles or 58 kilometers long. But yeah, so, interesting. Quite interesting that's what it's speculated that Atlantis would have been. But also, from Lindsay Sensei, he says the following: the Azores Islands, one of the suggested places for where Atlantis is around, is around the Azores Islands, a group of islands belonging to Portugal located about 900 miles or 1.5 kilometers west of the Portuguese coast. Some people believe these islands could be the mountaintops of Atlantis. As American congressman was, so according to some dude, he thought this was the case, but interesting. And also, a Portuguese sailor claims to have discovered a large underwater pyramid between the island of São Miguel and Terceira in the Azores. So, yeah, apparently this person, Silva, couldn't believe what his eyes were telling him. As he was sailing in the Atlantic Ocean looking for fish, he spotted a perfectly shaped pyramid structure on the sonar. After rechecking the GPS device and maps, Silva confirmed that the unknown underwater construction was lying at 40 meters. So, square and aligned with the 4 cardinal compass directions, the pyramid's base is estimated to have a 8,000 square meters, I guess, radius in this case. But yeah, so clearly there could be a connection here. There could be. I mean, again, Lindsay Sensei finds some crazy connections. And if you look right here, new archaeological evidence reveals human presence before Portuguese occupation, specifically in these areas. So, ladies and gentlemen, is this rumor real? Are we going to be getting ancient and future forms? I think, honestly, there is a high possibility for that. And I think one of the reasons I think that's a high possibility is because of the way that the regional versions kind of exist within Pokemon Legends Arceus, right? Now, Legends Arceus doesn't have ancient forms technically. Those are Hisuian forms. Those are regional forms still. It's just that, you know, they still exist in some form or shape in our current present time in the future of the Pokemon games. It's just that in that case, they are in the past, right? So keep that in mind. But what I'm trying to say is that ancient forms would literally be ancient Pokemon from maybe even before humans existed or really far back in time, you know, before humans were able to catch Pokemon, right? Now, that depends on how you look at, like, ancient and present time within the Pokemon world. But I think the idea of, like, these past forms and these future forms existing is highly possible as a thing in this game, as a gimmick. But we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Moving on to the next thing, which is from Ami at Japan, who says, the reason Ku has not yet determined his August schedule is that official news may be released by July. And here's what he basically is the list of what the leaker Ku, again, leaker, said about, like, information. So already in the third month, which was March, we already got the gimmick then, you know, like, hinted by him. The box legendaries on the fourth month, which was April. May was RF and RF, which is regional form and probably regional feature. Then new Pokemon on the 6th there, which the 6th month, which is June. Then July is apparently going to be characters, which we already kind of have gotten a little bit of hints on. And the 8th month, which is August, is to be decided. Then it's new concept and post-game. And then, you know, November is going to be nothing because that's the final solution. So maybe there is a presence in August happening. So we'll have to wait and see what the case is going to be there. But we'll have to wait and see, right? That's the whole point. We're just waiting, seeing, speculating. We'll see what happens, right? Moving on to the next thing, which is sent to me by a viewer. They didn't want their name out there, so we're going to keep their name hidden. But basically, what they were telling me is every time that Riddler Ku or Leaker Ku, basically every time he hints something, every time he insults someone in his tweets, usually that's a way of him hinting at a feature. So in this case, on the top one, he was insulting again Central Pokemon on the top one. So basically in this one, he was referring to the legendaries being rideable Pokemon that we were going to ride, right? So he says last time the insult was a hint. Now we can't ignore this. We have to think like Ku. We have to think like an egocentric character that gives weird hints we can fully understand after the official reveal. I don't know if I was to put it that way, but either way, this message is written in bad English on purpose, and it says basically, come on, thirsty, and don't be greedy, be patient. Basically, there are three phrases that seem seem like insults, but I think they are contrived. This reply to his poll is a hint for understanding what the question marks are, I guess. So we're here right now. I mean, you want to climb up a pig. Come on, thirsty, don't be greedy. So climb up, thirsty, greedy. So basically, I think he's referring to specifically in this case. I mean, you want to climb up a pig. Climb up a pig doesn't make sense. He's referring to Lechonk. Lechonk Evolution is a waifu Pokemon, like hinted in this image. No, the waifumon is not the pig. Ku didn't put the pig here, which is in the hidden image, which we saw in the bottom right there. It's something unrelated. I think this phrase is related to the waifu Pokemon. That is a feminine Pokemon. I know it's not cool to hint to a woman-like creature with that word, but we have to think vulgar like Ku. Thirsty equals water type. Maybe the waifu Pokemon is a nymph of sorts, which actually wouldn't be too crazy, right? Wouldn't be too impossible for that. And then there's this one, don't be greedy, be patient, which I think is, he says, I read the word greedy and I think the objects put money and treasures. This sentence is referring to the object Pokemon, right? So definitely, it's got to be, people are talking about a mimic Pokemon, a coin, something like that. There is the fact that there's a ship hinted there. Probably one of the themes of this gen is navigation and pirates. Spain is famous for Columbus and the sea. Then you got water fighting pirate, little Quoxley, of course, that connects as well. The whole thing with the compass on the logo. Everything connects perfectly. I think climb up is hinting to the gyms. RF is regional feature. The feature of this region is the gym towers, iconic in the land like Zelda Breath of the Wild. So, he even said F is what you should care about, not R. So R is obviously then going to be regional, because regional forms is the same thing. But the F part is the one that, is what we should wonder about, which is the fact that it could be, instead of forms, is the word feature. So this is the tower where we're most likely going to be able to go up on and find ourselves, guess what? A new battle to do. Some kind of battle to do on the top of that. You can see these towers a bit everywhere. And it says, not original form, but something that can be climbed up only in Gen 9. A tower, a gym tower like these from the trailer, and that's what it's, RF is short for. And I mean, you want to climb up and then, battle whatever it's on top of there. Possibly some, alpha Pokemon or a gym leader. We'll have to wait and see what's going to be up in those. But, ladies and gentlemen, I think for the most part we've gone through everything. If I missed anything, feel free to let me know. But that's going to be pretty much it for this video, guys. I'm sorry about, my voice and how I've been speaking in this video. My throat really hurts. And I've been trying to speak very slowly and very calmly to get as much information out to you guys as I possibly can. But that's going to be it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe for future videos. And yeah, see you next time. Peace out and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.